XRP is transferring $69 billion every hour. Is going to result in a wonderful $100 XRP. Let's go back to a previous episode. Many of you are going to have your eyes opened by this because we are going to perform a calculation that we have never performed on this channel before. This is the first of two parts of the next video that will be uploaded. It might take a few days. Where do we even start when it comes to the minute-by-minute and hour-by-minute details of how XRP will be used on a megascale? Let's begin with a brief montage that Jamie Dimon and I put together, showing how 99.9% of banks pay other banks in the form of global money centers. Banks such as Citibank and JP Morgan, there is a need in those settlements. If it's another sign or a Libra, to make the trade of foreign currencies more democratic. The ability to instantly, calibrate all the currencies that should be done, who get squashed by that, and who are the middlemen who are profiting off the banks is what I believe is more important than the need to develop a new currency. You are aware that systems exist at JP Morgan. They have, been running for many years. Over years and years, and since they profit handsomely from them, why would they not play around with it? Before we can talk about Jamie D, we must first identify his seat. Is positioned atop the global financial within the infrastructure, a handful of banks exist. Because JP Morgan is undoubtedly one that benefits from that position by making billions and billions of dollars in profit. The precise phrase for a ton of money is Jamie Dimon, which is why you have what does it tell you that JP Morgan and his family are selling $141 million worth of JP Morgan Chase stock. Are going to be losing out to new, more affordable technologies that will be implemented on revenue, and they were powerless to change it. With that said, let's go on to this XRP hourly volume of $69 million. What will I be discussing in the upcoming video is going to include a great deal more detail. However, this will provide you with a pretty fair summary, and I'm thrilled to share it with you all because it is so practical. Thus, the core valuation framework was developed by Susan Adley and Rob Mitnick. Since they calculated this, which you are all familiar with, we will use their calculation. According to the TE, there are 100 billion XRP in circulation. If XRP is traded at a volume of $556 billion a day, the price per XRP would be $32.90. However, we'll use their calculations to verify this. 3 of them will be combined. That offers us volume every day, all right? The volume of $1.6 trillion, but ignore the daily volume, and that would result in a market cap value of $99 per XRP of $9.6 trillion, which is incredibly small for a utility market cap. This is even with 100 billion XRP in circulation, so these are extremely conservative estimates. The OTSFX market is worth $7.5 trillion, while the DTC settles $462 trillion in total yearly, but just $1.3 trillion daily. Just off of these 3 entities, SWIFT does roughly $5 trillion per day, or a total of $13.8 trillion in volume. We are omitting so much information. Tokenized assets, derivatives based on real estate bonds, there's a lot of money to be made from this, and let's just look at it. 13.8 trillion in daily volume translates to 575 billion in money flowing hourly. Considering that there are only 3 entities here, imagine what would happen if Ripple received 12% of that hourly volume. Recovering that amount, or $69 billion, would result in a value of $100 per XRP. To maintain a $100 value, around $69 billion in hourly volume would be required. Consequently, the daily volume would be $1.65 trillion throughout the day. Now, let's zoom in and ask yourself, this can help unite economies and establish a level playing field. The goal of playing field, Ripple, is to serve as a payment rail for all money that is held between the banking system and the new economy. On top of that, they will build on each other's understanding of how to connect the various economies of the roughly 200 countries in the world and ensure the smooth operation of the payment system. For you to be aware of every company's unique profile and transfer $69 billion every hour, 1.6 trillion would need to be moved in 24 hours. This is not a financial answer. 100% of the advice is, like, Onx does $10 trillion. We're discussing the XRP ledger overnight. Managing real-world electric assets worth $69 billion, all right, so things like bonds with tokenized assets and all that. $69 billion on an hourly basis, we will need $100 worth of XRP, which dropped to $337 back in 2018 for no apparent reason. I like to bring this up again and again. As you are aware, XRP was a hoax in 2018. I hope you understand what I'm trying to communicate. It's the present, it's not outdated. I merely used the word scam to essentially state that it had no real purpose, that everyone was still perplexed, and that no one understood what was going on. Nobody knew what these assets were used for, and despite this, the amount increased to $337 purely on conjecture. With no actual use case in the real world at full speed, ladies and gentlemen. I sincerely thank every one of you, and we will be this week. We started developing ripples with the idea that cryptocurrency liquidity might eventually support reliable global payments. A large payment ripple was created so that, after the market was sufficiently established, users might migrate to ODL after realizing the advantages of our fiat-based network. And that's precisely what's taking place. Flip, I believe what we're creating. Are you aware that it addresses a genuine issue? And I believe that each token represents my advice. If genuine usefulness and value are being provided to a real consumer, then there will be value in the token, as anyone might comprehend.